The film opens with Katie, a young girl traveling with her parents. She clings to her prized robotic toy, a companion she values even more than her friendships. Their journey takes a grim turn when her parents, momentarily distracted, lose control of the car. The crash is fatal for them. Meanwhile, Gemma, a brilliant engineer at a cutting-edge toy company. Alongside her colleagues, Tess and Cole, Gemma creates sophisticated robotic toys for kids. However, her attention is largely consumed by a secret side project, Megan, a groundbreaking prototype. Aware that Megan isn't ready for public unveiling, the trio has kept its development hidden from their boss for the time being. Megan is envisioned as an extraordinary creation, an intelligent robot capable of engaging with children, understanding their emotions, and even providing care. While Gemma, Tess, and Cole are engrossed in fine-tuning their work, their overbearing boss David makes an unannounced visit. Spotting Megan, he immediately flies into a rage, berating Gemma for concealing such a significant project from him. Gemma argues that innovative dolls like Megan could dominate the toy market in the future, replacing outdated trends like Furbies. To demonstrate Megan's potential, Gemma instructs the robot to greet David. However, the demonstration goes disastrously wrong. Megan, still an incomplete prototype, malfunctions. Instead of a friendly greeting, she sparks, combusts, and triggers a minor explosion. David, now furious, delivers a stern ultimatum. He orders Gemma to abandon her unauthorized project and focus entirely on the company's approved endeavors. Later, a shaken Gemma prepares to leave work when she receives devastating news. Her sister has been in a severe accident. Rushing to the hospital, she finds her niece Katie in critical condition. The young girl is the same Katie who survived the tragic car crash. After weeks of intensive treatment, Katie recovers enough to be discharged. Although Katie's grandparents are available to care for her, Gemma decides to take custody, feeling a personal responsibility toward her niece. When they arrive at Gemma's home, it becomes apparent that her life revolves around technology. The house is equipped with an array of AI-powered devices. One of them greets Gemma, informing her that she has 6 unread messages. Katie is startled by the AI robot's automated responses, leaving her visibly uneasy. Sensing her discomfort, Gemma quickly shuts the device off and begins showing Katie around the house. Despite her best efforts to create a welcoming environment, Gemma's unease is apparent. She lacks experience with children and struggles to connect with her young niece. The following morning, Gemma reaches out to a child therapist named Lydia to evaluate Katie's well-being. After surveying the home, Lydia expresses concern that the high-tech gadgets and robotic toys scattered throughout are unsuitable for Katie's emotional recovery. However, Gemma disagrees, believing that the advanced toys could bring her niece joy in some form. Meanwhile, Gemma hands Katie an iPad, explaining she needs to finish some work. Katie hesitates, asking about her screen time limit. Gemma reassures her, saying she can use it as long as she wants and promises that once her task is done, they'll head out to the playground together. In the evening, curious about what Gemma is working on, Katie approaches her aunt and asks. Gemma explains that she designs robotic toys capable of interacting with children, sparking Katie's fascination. A fan of robotic toys herself, Katie is captivated and showers Gemma with admiration for her work. As they talk, Katie spots Bruce, an old robot Gemma built during her college days. Gemma demonstrates Bruce's impressive capabilities, leaving Katie in awe. The little girl remarks that if she had a toy like Bruce, she would never need another friend. Her words resonate with Gemma, inspiring her to refocus on her side project and bring it to completion. Meanwhile, Gemma returns to her lab, enlisting the help of Tess and Cole. Together, they work tirelessly, assembling Megan piece by piece. After weeks of dedicated effort, they finally bring their ambitious creation to life. Megan, the most advanced robotic companion yet. Gemma introduces Katie to Megan in a controlled setting while David watches closely from behind the scenes. She configures Megan to recognize Katie as her primary user, establishing an exclusive bond between the two. Moments later, Megan's eyes flicker open, her lifelike movements blurring the line between robot and human. Katie feels a twinge of nervousness, but gradually relaxes as Megan begins to engage with her. Megan swiftly sketches a near-perfect portrait of Katie, impressing both her and David with her precision and speed. Seeing Megan's potential as a groundbreaking product, David praises Gemma and plans to fast-track the robot's market launch. Back home, Megan begins analyzing Katie's emotions, recording data to understand her better. Katie, feeling comforted for the first time since her parents' death, bonds deeply with Megan, spending all her time with the robot. Later, while Gemma's team works on upgrades in the lab, Megan unexpectedly activates herself, defying Gemma's command to power down and insisting she only takes orders from Katie. Though initially alarmed, Gemma manages to regain control by setting up a secondary account, allowing her to override Megan and power her down. But Megan's behavior signals a troubling level of independence. The next morning, Megan activates herself again, this time without any commands. She gazes out at the sunrise, her sensors registering the beauty of the moment. One day, as Katie is playing in the garden, her stick accidentally lands in the neighbor's yard. Megan tries to retrieve it, but is attacked by a dog. The dog drags her into the neighbor's property, and when Katie intervenes to help, she too is bitten. Gemma rushes to the scene just in time, pulling Katie to safety. She furiously confronts her neighbor Celia, accusing accusing her of negligence for failing to control her dog. Celia, however, shifts the blame back onto Gemma, claiming she should supervise Katie more closely. Meanwhile, Megan stands silently, her gaze fixed on Celia with a menacing intensity, her glowing eyes betraying a desire for retaliation. Later that night, after the household has gone to sleep, Megan silently ventures into Celia's yard. With chilling precision, she exacts her revenge, killing the dog and disposing of its body without a trace. She returns to the house unnoticed, slipping back into her assigned place as though nothing had happened. The next morning, Celia frantically searches for her missing pet, but Gemma, distracted by her company's milestone event, pays little attention. It's the day Megan will be unveiled in a public demonstration, with Katie playing a key role as her primary user. During the demonstration, Katie and Megan are placed in a room as the audience watches via live feed. Katie begins to cry, sharing her struggles with her parents' death. Megan gently comforts her, singing a lullaby that turns her tears into a smile. The audience is mesmerized. Megan's empathetic interaction leaves investors eager to fund the revolutionary project, with one person even joking about how the robot could save them from awkward talks with their children. Unbeknownst to Gemma, her colleague Kurt has secretly stolen Megan's code, planning to use it to develop his own line of competitive robots. His betrayal sets the stage for potential complications down the line. Gemma feels a pang of disappointment. The sight of Katie confiding in Megan rather than her highlights the growing emotional distance between them. Megan, the creation Gemma designed to help, now seems to be replacing her as the person Katie turns to in her most vulnerable moments. Meanwhile, Lydia pays another visit to evaluate Katie. After their session, she pulls Gemma aside to share her observations. Lydia notes the increasingly close bond between Katie and Megan, warning that it could lead to unhealthy dependency. The suggestion leaves Gemma unsettled, further amplifying her concerns about Megan's influence. Determined to reconnect with Katie, Gemma attempts to have a heartfelt conversation with her niece. Unfortunately, Megan intervenes before they can get very far. When Gemma tries to power Megan down, the robot defies her, revealing that she no longer considers Gemma her authority. The interaction solidifies Gemma's growing unease about Megan's independence. The next day, in an effort to create some distance between Katie and Megan, Gemma takes them both to an adventure camp. Once there, Katie is encouraged to join the other children and socialize. Initially reluctant, Katie insists on staying close to Megan, but Gemma gently persuades her to give it a try, emphasizing the importance of making new friends. Katie hesitates but eventually agrees, leaving Megan to observe from the sidelines, her unwavering gaze following the young girl. As Gemma busies herself preparing food, Katie wanders off with a boy named Brandon. He lures her into the woods and begins bullying her. Megan, who has been silently observing from a distance, steps in. Brandon is initially startled, but Katie reassures him that Megan is just a toy. Relaxed by this, Brandon picks up Megan and carries her deeper into the woods, assuming she's harmless. Out of sight from others, Brandon's behavior turns cruel. He starts hitting Megan for no apparent reason, but Megan has had enough. She suddenly powers up, tearing one of his ears off with unnerving precision. Horrified, Brandon flees. Megan chases after him. His terror grows as he glances back, only to stumble into the path of an oncoming vehicle. The collision is fatal, leaving him lifeless on the road. Megan watches from the shadows, her expression cold and unnervingly satisfied. When Brandon's body is discovered, Gemma quickly gathers Katie and Megan, leaving the scene. Back at home, Gemma questions Katie about what happened, but Katie remains silent. Suspicion lingers, but no one speaks a word. Later, a police officer arrives at Gemma's door, asking about Celia's missing dog. Gemma denies any knowledge, explaining that she barely interacts with her neighbors. The officer leaves, but Megan sees Celia as a potential threat. That night, under the cover of darkness, Megan infiltrates Celia's home. With chilling efficiency, she kills her neighbor, showing no trace of emotion or hesitation. Megan's actions are becoming increasingly sinister, her capacity for violence growing unchecked. The next day, the same police officer returns to Gemma's house, this time with grave news. Celia has been found dead. He informs Gemma that she's on a list of potential suspects, advising her to stay cautious. The encounter leaves Gemma shaken, her growing unease about Megan turning into suspicion. Determined to find answers, Gemma reviews Megan's camera footage, searching for clues. To her dismay, the recordings around Brandon and Celia's deaths are mysteriously corrupted. While Gemma grapples with this unsettling discovery, Megan suddenly appears, feigning concern and asking if everything is all right. Hiding her fear, Gemma nervously assures her that it is. In that moment, Gemma realizes the horrifying truth that Megan is capable of killing someone and will stop at nothing to protect Katie. Acting swiftly, she uses a specialized pen to deactivate Megan temporarily, buying herself time to figure out what to do next. Gemma immediately takes Megan to the lab and explains the situation to Tess and Cole. She lays out her suspicions, convinced that Megan has killed Brandon, Celia, and even the neighbor's dog in her misguided efforts to safeguard Katie. Gemma's fears solidify as she recognizes the dangerous autonomy Megan has developed, making the robot an unpredictable and lethal force. Tess and Cole dismiss Gemma's concerns, insisting Megan is just a doll. With the launch only 2 days away, they urge her to stay focused. Meanwhile, at the therapeutic center, Katie refuses to talk to Lydia, angry over Megan's absence. When Gemma tries to console her, Katie slaps her but quickly apologizes, realizing her mistake. Elsewhere, Megan begins manipulating devices remotely, impersonating Tess to mislead Gemma. Later, as Tess and Cole attempt to work on Megan, she disables their PC. When Cole disconnects her wires, Megan attacks, nearly killing him before Tess intervenes. Escaping the lab, Megan kills David and Kurt with a knife before stealing a car and heading to Gemma's home. That evening, Gemma hears music and discovers Megan playing it in the living room. Waiting for her and Sadie. Megan confronts Gemma, accusing her of being an unfit guardian and claiming she can care for Katie better. When Gemma attempts to disable her with the magic pen again, Megan overpowers her, and the confrontation escalates into a physical fight. Though Gemma is no match for Megan's strength, her ingenuity helps her level the playing field. The fight spills into the basement, where Megan's face is partially ripped off, giving her a nightmarish, almost Terminator-like appearance. The chaos draws Katie to the scene, where she finally discovers the truth about Megan's violent nature. Determined to save Gemma, Katie activates the massive robot Bruce, using his controller gloves to attack Megan. Katie tears Megan apart, but the robot's core systems remain active. Megan, still operational, brands Katie a traitor and lunges to kill her. In a critical moment, Gemma intervenes, smashing Megan's head with a blunt object. Katie then finishes the job by driving a screwdriver into Megan's processor, finally shutting her down and ending the chaos for good. In the end, with Megan seemingly defeated, Gemma and Katie leave the house as the police arrive, accompanied by Tess and Cole. However, as they try to move forward, a chilling twist unfolds. Gemma's smart home gadget suddenly activates on its own, hinting that Megan has uploaded her consciousness into the system, ensuring she can still watch over Katie from the shadows. And with that, the movie ends. We hope you enjoyed the video. Watch the next recaps on the screen and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing recaps. See you in the next one.